they're playing because they are playing listless. And, Pete Alonso is like the leader of the clubhouse in this regard. And he's our best player. I mean, he's our energy. And he looked terrible last night. I mean, and, Keith Hernandez, I think, explained really well about what he's doing. He's hitting the ball out in front of the plate as opposed to waiting for the ball. And he's a little over-anxious. There's no question about that. And we can all see that. And, 2 double plays back-to-back, guys on base, chances to blow open the game on, against a pitcher that, basically has horrendous statistics over the last 3 years. And it was awful. He's mired in a 2-for-25 slump. He's got 1 home run in the last 25 at-bats, 1 extra base hit. He's only had 1 RBI during that time as well. And it's just, if he's not going, the team is not going. It's frustrating to watch, and the pitching has been brutal. I mean, the guy that comes in last night, the tall kid that comes in at the end of the night last night.
The tall kid.
I mean, that was like a freak show. I mean, what was going on? I'm like, what? The ball's all over the place.
I mean, and Taijuan Walker again is having another bad second half.
He's having a meltdown,
and he has a blister. And he says after the game, it's not an excuse, but he felt it in the 3rd inning. And it's like, all right, if it's not an excuse, then I don't want to hear about it. Then don't even bring it up.
Well, this is why Jake DeGrom is back now. And this is where, guys like him, and, they were talking about his opt-out and $50 million a year and all this other crap the last couple days. And I'm like, all right, well, go out and prove that you're worth $50 million. Look, I love you, kid, and I think you're a great player, and I think you're a great pitcher, one of the best pitchers I've ever seen. But, you got to stay healthy, and you got to come up in big spots. And, quite frankly, this is a big spot for him against one of the worst hitting teams in baseball, if not the worst hitting team in baseball.
Well, the Mets have been the worst hitting team in baseball over the last week or so, and that's the biggest problem with
them. Talking about big picture.
No, I understand, but I mean, they have been
I mean, honestly, I couldn't sleep last night. I mean, it's like I was sweating.
You were sweating.
I was tossing and turning. I was nauseated.
You really got physically ill.
I got
from that
ill.
Performance.
It was like, come on, guys, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, especially because you had a day off. You had those 2 terrible games against the Nationals. You had the rain out, so you thought, okay, they'll regroup, they'll come out. And then you'll put that National Series in the rearview mirror. You beat up on the Pirates, and everything's going to be okay.
And then, of course, Starling Marte gets hit right on the freaking knuckles.
Yeah, so
like the first inning, and you're like, oh, come on,
you can't
what are we
lose
doing
him.
here?
He's the only guy that's producing in the lineup right
playing
now.
These crappy teams, and guys are getting hurt. It's ridiculous. And then, speaking of guys getting hurt, of course, the Yankees do what we all expected them to do and put Rizzo, not Izzo. I put Izzo on the IL here. We're putting Rizzo on the IL, right? So, now it's just another injury, and these guys going down late in the season just absolutely so frustrating for us as New York fans. And I hope that Starling Marte is okay. I hope that he can get back in the lineup. I mean, today is like all hands on deck day.
Oh, sure. I mean, but the rest of the season is at this point. I mean, every single day is going to be like this. I mean, last night was another one of those games where you felt like it was all hands on deck because here are the Atlanta Braves playing the Oakland A's, and that's a 10-9 game last night, and they tried to come back, the A's, but couldn't get it done. But as far as Marte is concerned, I guess the initial prognosis was positive. Buck said that he has to have somebody, a professional, look at the imaging, but they think a specialist. He actually said specialist.
Did he say specialist?
He did. He's 100% said specialist.
Well, you got to see specialist. I mean, that's a very important thing.
Yeah.
Sure, they got some good orthopedic people there.
Absolutely. They've got
the Mets
great
use
doctors.
HSS, don't they?
Yeah, great surgeons.
Fly one of the doctors out there.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay. It sounded the Buck wouldn't have said what he said if he didn't feel at least somewhat confident about it.
Buck better come up with something.
Well, this is what we've talked about.
Well, this is why he's here.
Yeah.
This is why he's here. This is, supposedly the guy that's going to change the whole thing and change the culture. The culture is very important.
Well, I mean, we said that the culture was already changed up until this point, and the reason why was because of Buck Showalter and Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom coming back. So this is when you have to do it. And Chris Bassett pitches today, too, and he's a guy that I trust. So this is like a non-negotiable sweep today. Like, you can't come out of this losing 2 out of 3 to the Pirates after losing 2 out of 3 to the Nationals because I can't take you seriously.
I agree with you. And I wonder about the culture around here a little bit too.
The culture around here,
yeah, just a little bit.
What are your concerns here?
Well, you'll see. You'll see when we have an update.
Oh, okay. All right. So when we have an update, there's something with CeeLo, I imagine, is bothering you.
We got guys scrubbing WFN from their Twitter accounts. We got guys, dressing like it's a jamboree around here. We're after Labor Day. The Mets and the Yankees are like playing like crap.
Yeah.
I mean, and we got the football coming up. We got football tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's right.
On NBC, Bills at the Rams. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on. Got the U.S. Open. Kyrgios going nuts last night, slamming rackets all over the place.
Guy's always going nuts.
Freaking lunatic.
I was thinking
he's like John McEnroe on steroids.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't get nearly as much attention as McEnroe did back in the day. But
let me tell you something. He's getting a lot of attention.
McEnroe,
if McEnroe played in today and acted the way that he did back then with Twitter and social media, he would be all over the place just like this guy is.
I'm saying McEnroe was a huge deal back then. I feel like,
he was like one of the bad boys of tennis, and that's exactly what Kyrgios is trying to do.
Yeah, no, he certainly is. He's got that title for sure.
How do you feel about these? I'm kind of conflicted.
About what?
I know you probably haven't thought much about it.
Okay.
There's still that little thing that they call war going on over in Ukraine.
Okay, yes, who somehow made it to Ukraine.
Yes. But, there's a war going on over
there. Yeah.
Right, and so Wimbledon decided, hey, no Russians, no Belarusians playing in Wimbledon.
Okay.
We're going to make a statement here. We're going to hold these people accountable. We're not going to let Vladimir Putin, engage in some sort of propaganda through sports.
Okay.
Kind of like the Saudi Arabians are doing with Live Golf, okay?
Live Golf, okay,
right, so I'm kind of conflicted because...
bingo, check that off.
Right, exactly. Okay, good.
Golf.
So I was just thinking,
the
U.S. Open said it's okay. The 8 Russians and Belarusians, I guess, can all play in the U.S. Open, and they're actually doing well. And last night, Kyrgios lost to a Russian. And I'm kind of conflicted because I know they really can't say much publicly, the Russian players.
We don't know if they're Putin supporters or not.
Well, they can't say anything.
Right.
Some of them may have said something over the last 6 months. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is there are some people that are conflicted that they are playing, although they are not allowed to be playing under their flag. So when they're introduced, they're not introduced as Belarusian or Russian. They're just introduced. No sportsman.
See, I thought I had one.
I had a sportsman on this thing, but football, it takes kind of precedent over what's going on around here. But I was just wondering, if you thought about that.
No, I didn't think about it all that much. No, I don't know. I'm in my little New York sports bubble right now.
Right.
I haven't thought so much about it. To me, I would not have them playing in any tournament if I was running a tournament.
Oh, yeah, so you have to.
I would send the message. I'm a message sender.
You're a message sender. Okay.
I'm sending that message.
Right.
Yes,
I feel bad for the athletes themselves or individual athletes. They really have no say in what their government does. They just got to show up and play. And I'm like I said, I'm conflicted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Because I can't even imagine that any one of these athletes would support what the hell is going on.
Well, if you think about it, hasn't Ovechkin supported that? He had
while
the war was going on, he had a picture of him and Putin.
Well, he had that picture of him and Putin well before the war. He didn't put it up there when the war.
He kept it there.
Well, he took it down eventually. He took it down, but he's also over there running the Ovechkin Cup, and there's nothing going on. And the NHL hockey players, which Panarin's one of them, and of course Shesterkin's one of them, Sorokin's one of them for the Islanders. They're coming and going. No problem.
Yeah.
And you wonder, what are we doing here? What is going on?
What is going on?
I don't know what is going on. All I know is that the Mets are in the middle of a puke fest.
Right, they are. I was thinking, football starting tomorrow night. We're going to be at Matt Martin's charity poker tournament tomorrow night, and then we'll watch the game together, I think.
Fine.
Somewhere.
That's great. Yeah.
We'll go out?
Yeah, we'll go out. Yeah, I'm getting hot. See, I told you I was getting hot last night. I started
going
sweating.
on?
I'm
not getting COVID for the third time.
No, I'm not getting COVID.
You're sweating in here, for Christ's sake.
I turned it down. I know. You know what? Because it's all because of the Mets. I'm telling you right now. I wanted to sit down because there hadn't been baseball in 2 days.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right, for the Mets. And I'm like, all right, let's get this thing right. And, they come out, and Taijuan Walker is like...
I know. I've had it.
It was brutal. And, and every time one of these guys would come up to bat, and first of all, when they were introducing the lineups, Gary's like, well, this is one of the light-hitting lineups. And, not when Taijuan Walker's pitching in the second half of a season, it's not.
Yeah, right. And this is 2 years in a row this has happened. So I've gone from completely trusting him to not trusting him again. But you got 2 guys on the mound that you absolutely trust today. And then this is where it has to start.
It's not okay.
It's not okay. Playing like that is not okay.
It's not okay.
But still, if you win the 2 today, then tomorrow it's a different story. If they end up splitting or getting swept today, then we've got a real massive issue going on with this team that's really going to start scaring me that they're going to completely collapse and not win the division.
I just can't believe how listless it. Well, again, losing makes you feel this way, and this is, I'm sure Yankee fans have felt this way since the All-Star break. When you lose and you do stupid things and you look like you don't know what you're doing, and Brandon Nimmo overthrowing cutoff men and. Keith Hernandez, if that was a Philly doing that, he'd be jumping out of the booth.
Exactly.
I mean, like, we're watching it now, and these are all kind of part and parcel to losing streaks and teams that look like losers.
And they haven't had one of these the entire year, and now they're having it in the last month of the season.
Which is not good. We've been down this road before, and it was, 15 years ago.
Yeah, no, it was. So now but they had a massive lead with 17 games to go, 7 with 17, as we've said so many times. We're not in that type of territory here, but they were up 10 games. They were up 10.5 games at some point. I think it was back in June 1st. They were up 10.5 games. And the Braves have just played out of their minds. Yeah, there it is, June 1st, 10.5 on CBS Sports Network. And here we are, tied because of what the Braves have done. The Braves were 3 games under 500 at that point and have just played out of their freaking minds.
So play out of your minds.
I mean, they have to, and they have the entire year. I mean, this is what I was saying yesterday about how annoying this is.
I'm not quitting on the team.
No,
I'm
you
just
can't.
saying it's just a puke fest right now.
But it's like, the Mets are 34
pathetic.
games under 500, and they can't even hit a road bump without this team breathing down their neck. That's what's so frustrating about it. I mean, you build up a lead like this, you have a season like this. A lot of teams, when they do, have breathing room. The Mets do not, because they got the World Series champions in their division, and they're playing better baseball than anybody in the league right now.
What we need I know it's about pitching. I understand that, and it's a very important part of the game. But if our best player, who is Pete Alonso, is not hitting,
well, Lindor's not hitting either.
Yeah, I know. I think both those guys, but. Alonso hit into double plays back-to-back last night.
Well, yeah, I mean...
And that second one, it looked like it was like, he's reaching for the ball. He's trying to...
He's totally out of sorts. And then
he's out of whack.
Yeah, Buck said it last night. He's trying too hard. He's just trying desperately to make something happen.
Right,
and when that happens, then...
Sit him down.
Sit him down?
Sit him down.
We're not benching Pete Alonso.
I didn't say bench him. It's give him a day off or something.
Well, isn't that essentially benching him for a day?
I mean, like, sometimes, players get out of whack, and he's out of whack.
He had a day off on Monday.
Yeah, I thought that would be it.
Yeah,
that would be
it
great.
Wasn't. But he already had that day off. Yeah, I mean, to me, go out, score 6 runs in the first inning, and never look back. Yeah. That's what I need to see.
I mean,
from them.
And Brandon Nimmo did it twice last night.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like, come on, Brandon. Like, you're from Wyoming. You should know better.
What does Wyoming have to do with it?
Well, listen, this kid, was hitting in his dad's barn, for God's sake.
He was.
So he knows baseball.
Of course he
does. You don't do stupid things on the. See, that to me just kind of shows you that everybody's overdoing it.
Yeah.
When in actuality, you just got to do what you normally do and just follow the script.
Yeah.
And stop deviating and trying to do more than you're capable of doing. Like, he's got a pop gun arm. We all know that. He can run down anything. He can make great catches. Right. He's usually a fundamentally sound player. And when you see a fundamentally sound player trying to do something that he's incapable of physically doing and then making a mistake and doing it twice, that is like an indication that like everybody's like a little tight, a little like wound up. And
it's amazing how that stuff is contagious on a team, right? The hitting is contagious. It's amazing how that works.
Well, it's like I go back to last year, and I was trying to explain to you when Zach Wilson was throwing the ball at wide open guys. His feet were going one way, his shoulders are going the other way, his brain's going 100 miles an hour.
Right.
He never got comfortable, and when you never get comfortable, your brain gets in your way, the anxiety gets in the way.
Yep.
And man, I'm still sweating.
All right. We'll turn the AC down. We'll get you a breather here, and we'll come back with a CeeLo update.
Did the 7-Line send over a fan or anything?
Yeah, 7-Line sent over a ton of shirts here.
I'm not – look, I appreciate Darren. I appreciate it, but I'm not wearing this thing.
We got button-downs. We got T-shirts.
I mean, you think I'm going to wear this thing?
Boomer yelled when he saw that, "I want wins, not shirts."
Right, exactly.
7-Line isn't a response. I'll take it. I'll give it to somebody else. I don't want you throwing that away.
I'm not going to throw it away. I'd probably give it to the guy outside.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.